Hello and welcome to Perspectives, where we'll take a deep dive into the issues of the day and where we'll take a look at people's opinions on such issues. I am Ruth Osime. Today, we're exploring the rapidly growing world of cosmetic surgery, a $60 billion industry that touches countless lives in deeply personal ways. From various surgeries women do to increasingly also involving men embracing Botox as part of their self-care routines, cosmetic enhancements are more popular than ever. But beneath the promise of transformation lies the risk that can leave a lasting impact physically, emotionally, and financially. Our goal is not to judge, but to understand the profound consequences that cosmetic surgery can have when things go wrong. Botched procedures don't just carry a financial burden, they result in devastating physical complications, chronic health issues, and even death. The psychological and emotional scars are equally deep, leaving individuals to grapple with shattered self-esteem, broken trust, and feelings of depression or anxiety. That's why taking a critical step, like thoroughly researching procedures, selecting a skilled and trustworthy surgeon, and seeking realistic expectations isn't just advisable, it's essential. These safeguards can mean the difference between a positive transformation and a harrowing experience that can linger for years. Together, we'll separate fact from fiction and shine a compassionate light on an industry that holds the power to change lives for better or for worse. We're heading for a short break, but stay with us because the show shall be truly on when we get back. Our guests on this episode include popular musician, social and human rights advocate Charly and founder Bridge Aesthetic Clinic, Dr. Beatrice Nwalie. Perspectives will return in just a moment. Let's get to acquaint ourselves with the guests, starting with Charly Chukwuemeka Oputa, popularly known as Charly Boy, a Nigerian singer, songwriter, television presenter, actor, and producer. He's known for his alternative lifestyle, political views, and media productions. And for this unique conversation, I'm also being joined by Dr. Beatrice Nwalie, founder of Bridge Aesthetic Clinic, a board-certified cosmetic dermatologist and aesthetic medicine specialist. Dr. Nwalie also focuses on weight loss, skin rejuvenation, facial balancing, and contouring. She is known for her artistic approach to facial and body enhancement and also committed to delivering safe, effective, and natural-looking results. Great to have both of you here with me on Perspectives. So, who do I start with? Are you, let's even first ask, are you Linda today or are you Charly Boy? Because so that we know how to...
What do you want me to be?
Oh, well, you could be both. You know me now, I like flavor.
I could be both. I would.
Are you aware that...
I've never heard of him being called a Linda. I'm super shocked right now.
So tell her who Linda is.
To know who Linda is.
Linda is my feminine side.
You go, girl.
Oh my God.
She lives here too.
She lives here, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you're going to obviously connect with our conversation today, even though we would also approach Charly Boy as well, but most of the conversation will be based on if you were Linda or you're Linda.
Sure.
You're Linda in you. Okay, good. So let's start with you, Dr. B.
Okay.
We've obviously heard about harrowing stories about botched surgeries, which I hope will show, my producer will show some of the images as they showed when I was making my intro. Some of them have been so bad that it has actually led to death. So what are the prerequisites? What are the things a patient should ask a doctor during her consultation, to make an informed decision whether or not to use that doctor? Okay. What are the red flags to look out for?
Okay. First of all, before I answer the second part of your question, I will go into the statistics on the death rates on the Brazilian butt lifts, or more of the Brazilian butt lifts, not really of the cosmetic.
Yeah, that's the most dangerous one.
Yes, that's the most dangerous. And it said that about 1 in 3,000 patients will die from a Brazilian butt lift, which is even higher. than any of the mortality rates in other ailments that we have. So
But why is that so?
Because usually when you transfer the fat into the butt area, what happens is it can cause the fat cells can leak into the arteries easily during the procedure, and that can cause some complications in the lungs.
So is it that you
Make
cannot
it very
penetrate
easy.
deeper than a certain...
You can penetrate deeper. While some people try to create techniques where you can place the fat above the muscle, which is the gluteus maximus, one of the biggest muscles, or some people have techniques where you place the fat underneath the muscle, which is also the gluteus maximus. So those techniques, people trying to give really great results for their patients has led to a lot of deaths in the Brazilian butt lift. It's actually a very dangerous surgery.
Because you sent a video, I mean, we couldn't use it on air because...
So we have a lot of graphic...
Where there was leakages coming out of it.
Leakages coming out.
White substance and stuff.
There's so many of them. Leakages coming out from the butt. And now we're seeing even more of that being rampant with the non-surgical, which is the hyaluronic acid fillers that are being placed in the butt. Because a lot of Nigerians now are being scared of, I don't want to go into surgery, I want to do non-surgical. So they've focused now on injecting hyaluronic acid fillers into the bum.
Goodness.
But you see, hyaluronic acid fillers is not the true, we categorize it as one of the least fillers to place into the bum. There are other types of fillers that can be placed into the bum, but it's cheap. So people now are focusing and putting that into their bum, and they're going to non-specialists. A lot of them, like the video I showed you, they're going to non-specialists, people that probably didn't even pass their science class in secondary school. And if you ask them the difference between an artery and a vein, they probably don't even know the difference. And they're claiming they went to a one-day school or a one-day course being led in Yaba Tech or something like that. Yes, and they're coming out graduating, putting stethoscopes, which is impersonating a doctor or a nurse and telling people now they're doctors. And it's all over social media. Nigerians are seeing it and they're going ahead.
Yeah, but I remember there was a, sorry to cut in. I remember there was a supposed surgeon as well. No. A supposed surgeon that was accused of several butt surgeries and she eventually died in the end.
But at the end of the day, that's the problem we're having.
Was she a genuine surgeon?
She's a doctor. I'm not sure about her qualifications, but she's a doctor. So that has already recategorized her. And that was why you could take her to court, you could do anything you wanted to do. It was left for the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria to actually stamp their feet and sanction her. And if they chose not to, then that's where people need to go back to the Medical and Dental Council and talk to them or petition. You see, but at least there's a board. That's the most important
thing. Yeah, but what role
thing.
is that board playing? Because at the end of the day, if you can have this amount of quack doctors, there was also another girl.
It's not even quack doctors.
Died.
They're not even doctors. They are just quacks.
So how do they cross-check? How does the medical ensure that the people who are carrying out these exercises are truly qualified for this job?
I don't know what we're going to do in Nigeria, because if you look at statistics, even maternal mortality rate in all over the world is like little to none. But in Nigeria, in just 2 years, maternal mortality rate went from 938 to 100,000 deaths of a live delivery to 1,047.
There's another sector that also is substandard.
We have our healthcare sector is really, really, really in need of government intervention. And that one, I can tell you the truth about it.
Let's get to, so that we don't ignore Lenda. Lini. But I want to ask you, what made you? Because you do Botox. He's actually your patient. You do Botox. What made you decide to do it? Because I don't hear of men actually doing Botox. And how do you feel? Oh, how did she convince you?
I'll try anything once.
So she's the first person you've done Botox with.
Yeah, I've only been to her twice.
Okay, how do you feel about the appearance?
Twice.
How do you feel? What parts of your face was injected?
Oh, she's the doctor that takes care of my wrinkles.
So you are totally wrinkle free.
Yeah, so we just did him anti-wrinkle treatment. again recently to help with the, to help his face look less wrinkled. I mean, you can tell from his age, he's already aging and definitely, I'm sorry, sir. He's definitely trying to look younger as much as possible. One thing I do tell people is the way you look actually sometimes affects the way you approach life. So if you're looking older, more wrinkled, you would feel that you're aged naturally. But if you're looking good, your skin looking better, I mean, he can dress anyhow. No one is going to say old man. Never. Do you understand? It's
No, but I have to ask, what was the experience like? Because I've never had Botox, so I'm just curious. What was the experience like? Was it painful?
I've never known pain like that.
Is it painful?
No, let me explain something. I hate needles.
Exactly.
And looking at me, you will never believe that
With
I
all these
hate
names here, how can you hate
bam.
names? First and foremost, how many names do you even have?
I'm always crying when I go to.
No, but you have
I
tattoos
know.
all over.
I say, looking at me now, you will never.
You know, we don't say you fear anything.
But I dread needles. I can't stand it. I'm always crying when I go to.
Oh, he cries?
So the thing about it is,
Answer the question.
Yes, he does.
Oh, cry baby.
I mean, he looks strong, physically, but he's actually very soft
on the inside.
On the inside. So usually when you just poke him, he was like, "Oh, it hurts," I guess that's where the Linder side comes from. He was like,
So where did you inject him? Where are the places that you injected him?
All over his face.
All over, every single part?
Every single part. Can't you see how smooth his face is without makeup? I mean, apart from the...
Does he wear makeup?
Without the microblading thingy he did.
Okay, the microblading is the eyebrow thing.
Yeah, he just recently did that.
Oh, you just did the eyebrow thing?
Yeah.
But why is it looking grey instead of black?
It's new.
Because,
so, they've just done...
3 days ago.
Yeah.
So
he can't wash it. So,
it's going to change color.
Yeah, it's going to change color.
From white to deep black.
Okay. When did you do that?
About 3-4 days ago.
Are you going to do your lashes as well?
No.
Huh?
I think he should do the lashes.
I think you should do your lashes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it would be super cool.
You might as well, go the whole hog.
I look more...
Yeah, it's appealing to both sexes.
Get serious.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me ask you, Dr. B, what are the most common mistakes or oversights that lead to bust surgeries? I know you described some of it, but apart from BBL, what are the other things that, because sometimes you see some women, it looks as if there's this particular swell under the eyes, that's just, you can just tell they have done something. So what causes these common mistakes?
Okay, so first of all, I will say from the doctor's perspective, and then I'll come from the patient's perspective. From the doctor's perspective, a lot of these people that have gone for training, they have focused on cosmetic enhancements, sometimes it's one-sided. They don't get to look at the total facial profile of the patient, and then they just keep putting and injecting into those areas to try to perfect the face. But there is no face that is perfect. We are perfect in our imperfection, and that's what makes us unique. So in trying to fix the under eyes, maybe sometimes they put too much of the hyaluronic acid fillers, and those fillers they swell, and they attract water. So the more they attract the water molecules, the more swelling you see on the patient's face.
But shouldn't the doctors who are doing, or the surgeons who are doing this know this? And know just how much they should put and not put.
And that's where I'll come to the patient's perspective too. Some patients just are not satisfied. So even when the doctor has done the procedure, the patients will return and say, I want more. And even when you tell them or you advise them, oh, don't do it again, it's okay, let's watch how this goes. They will say, no, I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do that. And sometimes they force the hands of the doctors. Now, some doctors...
But is that not unethical? For a patient to be able to force your hand as a doctor?
You call it unethical, but sometimes it's cosmetic. It depends on how the patient views his or herself.
What if he puts the patient's life in danger?
So that's the issue where we come with being a doctor and knowing where, okay, I know the areas that are safe. There's some areas on the face that even if I inject 30 times in that area, it's still safe. Because
what areas are those?
There are a lot of areas on the face, but there are no arteries, there are no veins.
Give us examples.
Okay, so
like where, my cheek?
Like for example, the cheekbone.
Okay.
You can inject in those areas a lot, and it's quite safe around the cheekbone. So you see people pushing fillers more on that area than the chin too is quite safe, but there's an artery called the mentalis artery that you have to be careful.
Under the chin?
Yeah, not under the chin, it's just at the chin point.
Like here?
Yes, no, above here.
Okay.
Mentalis artery and vein. So those vessels, you have to be careful about it, not to puncture them. But you can put fillers in the chin. That's why you see some people's chin have been overextended. Now, I don't really like the overextended chin. And this is where they go to practitioners or, like I said, the quacks who just want to collect the money and just keep putting those things in them and fixates those fillers into their self. So it has Dracularized a lot of the women, or we call it Maleficent. I don't know if you watched that.
Yes.
So a lot of people with the big cheekbones are now looking like Maleficent. I mean, if you look at Charly boy here, I mean, he's done fillers on his face. You know, he's done Botox, he's done peptides, he's done a lot of stuff.
He's done which one? What did you call the second one?
Peptides,
What's
Botox,
that?
fillers.
No, what's peptides?
They're like amino acids injected into the skin.
Is that part of the process of Botox?
No, they're separate. They're different.
So what does that do?
It's like a skin booster. It hydrates the face, makes it glow. He's done that.
So your face is glowing now?
I mean,
fine boy, no pimple. At almost 80.
Yeah. So you can see his face looks absolutely amazing.
Yes.
But that's because my approach to beauty is I want people to see how handsome he looks even as he's getting older. I don't want to change his face. I want to make him look more, I want his features to be more appreciated. Now, I could have just fixated a lot of things on his face. It would distort his face. It will make him look absurd. And people will start to say, what's going on with him? I think he's not okay.
That's true. But talking of all these bust surgeries and what about the emotional impacts that it has on patients?
Oh, it's terrible.
Can you give us stories of patients that have come to you totally devastated and shattered? And some of them, have their cases been beyond repair, or that it will take a lot longer time to rectify the damage?
Yes, I just had one yesterday. I had,
oh my God, what happened to her?
She's, I'm sorry, I'm not telling her
no,
name,
but
just,
of course you don't call
she's
names.
Lebanese, and she had gone to several places in Egypt, in Bali, in Lebanon, in UK, done her face. And every time she comes, I will have to dissolve just little bits on the face. So yesterday, she came, they told me she's coming. I'm like, oh, but her face, she doesn't need to do anything again. I mean, for now, it's Christmas. I don't want her face to look weird. So I saw her and I just saw someone else. I couldn't just understand how she was looking. And, you know, when she showed me, I said, I want you to show me the way your face was before you had started all of these things. And she showed me her face, and honestly, she looked absolutely beautiful before she started putting those fillers on her cheekbone. And she said somebody talked her into putting fillers on the cheekbone, which is one of the things I don't really like, is to place those fillers, especially even for us Africans. I don't know why African women, Nigerian women are allowing people to place fillers on their cheekbone, because we naturally have cheekbone. So she was devastated because her face looked fat and puffy, very, very puffy. And this was like, wow, what is going on? So you know what I told her? I said, and she started crying.
So her face, she came back with her face puffier than before she left.
Puffy, like literally, like just puffy.
So did you have to suck out?
So I told her, I'm not gonna touch it today. I'm gonna wait till January. Do your Christmas, just try to live with it a little bit. It's not so bad. So I took down some areas that were a little bit puffy.
When you say take down, do you now bring out this?
I injected some enzymes, it's called hyaluronidase, to dissolve some of the fillers. And when I did that, I told her in January, I'm going to take the entire thing off.
But when the fillers dissolve, what happens?
You just get back your face.
No, I mean, how does it dissolve? How does it manifest when it's dissolving? Does you suck it out of the face,
no,
or it just
the body
flows back into your system?
It flows back into the system. You excrete it through the kidneys.
No, because I remember you sent a video to me that you showed a woman and you were pressing her face
so
and some pus was coming out.
There was no way to we don't even know what was injected into her. So there was no way for us to put an enzyme, because the enzyme will not dissolve that particular one. So I had to make a puncture and I had to remove everything.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And that was like toothpaste, like yellow soft.
It was terrible. It was like
out.
Custard.
Yes, like custard, yes.
And we were trying to remove it. It took us over 2 months.
Oh, it wasn't that, you didn't do that once?
I couldn't finish it, because even when we stopped, when we would think that we're done with that case, she would come back, manifest in 2 weeks again, and the thing will look bigger, and we have to remove. We kept draining it, flushing it, draining it out. So she says she went somewhere in Dubai, and they injected something for her, and that she doesn't know what they injected for her.
Are you serious?
Yes. So it's very important that
So it took 2 months for you to get her face back to normal.
Oh my God. And this is the thing. People need to know that when you get to that stage of complication, it gets harder. Even for me, I've had cases where even my procedures, I've had some complications. So I know it gets harder even for me. So as much as possible, I try my best to avoid the complications. I'm always even stamping on my staff like, oh, we have to make sure that everybody that walks out of here walks out happy.
But when your people have had complications, have they had to pay for reconstruction?
No. If there is a complication from us, we will treat it.
What are the kind of complications that can occur?
Like now with the let's say with the under eyes, we can start with the face. With the Botox, if you have a complication from Botox will paralyze your muscles. And sometimes it can paralyze the wrong muscle, which can cause eyebrow drop. It can cause an eyebrow drop or eyelid drop.
Wow.
Yes, and that means your eyes could look like one-sided up, one brow's lifted, one brow's down. So with that, there's some technique we can use to counter the effects of the Botox, and that will level back the eyebrows.
Okay. Speaking of Botox, Linda, do you see this as a long-term commitment, or is something that you're going to stop after a while? Do you see it as something that you will do for the rest of your life?
I don't know, but this is what I think I should also say. Everything one does in life, you should be sure to moderate.
Okay.
Because
we're going on the break now, though. So we can continue. We can continue from where we left off. So we're going on the break. We'll see you right back on Perspectives. Join me and enjoy a lovely conversation with Linda and Dr. B. See you right back on Perspectives. Anyway, Charly, I was asking you that do you feel this Botox thing is a long-term commitment for you? And what other things do you do for your skincare and just to maintain a general
like I always say,
well-being?
Time and season in everybody's life. When I used to be heavily into biking, I thought I was going to bike till I drop. That they would bury me with my bike. But you can imagine, for the past 10 years, I've never been on a bike. Now it's scooter.
Okay, you use your scooter now.
Now scooter, they take walk out. So I can't say for sure if this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. But for right now, I want to stay young, stay youthful, and it actually starts from the heart. Because all I'm doing is feeding that boy that lives in me. That boy you call Charlie boy, my own not to just feed him, pet him.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. B, you've spoken about real-life experiences, but I want to ask about collaboration. Do you sometimes have to collaborate with mental health professionals when patients show signs of psychological distress covered under the obsessive need to continue to do more and more and more.
Yes, we sometimes do refer patients to even psychiatric hospitals because some people are mentally unstable. It's not about just their physics, but it's about their, mental well-being. So we do refer. I believe so much as a doctor to refer a patient. I've referred patients to orthopedics, I've referred patients to even plastic surgeons, I've referred patients to several different people in the medical line because that's what we were taught in school. It's not all cases that you want to take. There are some cases that you have to make sure you refer to the right specialist.
Yeah, but do some of these patients actually acknowledge that they have psychological issues, especially when it comes to body dysmorphia?
Yes, they do.
Are they not in denial?
Well, it depends on how you approach it. It's by talking to them, laughing with them, and, little by little, they will share, oh, I went here. Even some of them will tell you, I've been to several doctors. That's already an alarm. I've been to several places. I've done several things. I've even had to walk out patients from my clinic based on...
Really?
Yeah. Based on, I don't want to touch your face. I don't want to do your procedure.
Wow.
And early this year, we had a patient who, for 3 years, I hadn't touched her. I told her the last time she came from Abuja, I wouldn't do anything on her. Her face is okay. And then I just found out she died.
Oh my goodness.
Early this year. From still going back to different people that were touching her, doing all sorts of...
Was it her face? It was just,
face,
everything
her
else?
body. She had done over like 10 BBLs.
Wow.
Yes.
But what makes them keep coming back to do that BBL, especially considering doing universities?
I don't know what it is.
What are these challenges they usually face? I've seen some. One hip is probably higher than the other.
But,
or
ma'am,
no, I'm serious.
Even at birth, do you know, even without the BBL, one hip sometimes is higher than the other.
No, but some of them are distinctly
because they've touched
different,
it.
And then even the way it extends, one is more pointed, the other one is more curved.
Because they've now touched it. That's what the mistake that happened. When you're trying to fix those things in, you would try to fix it equally, not realizing that one hip is usually bigger than the other. One breast is usually bigger than the other.
Yeah, that's true.
One arm sometimes can usually be
even
longer.
One foot is slightly bigger than the other. Yes.
There is no perfection in the human body. But here you come in and then you try to fixate the same amount in one hip to the same amount to the other hip. What will happen? It will make the hips look bigger and now show that difference even more. And in trying to fix that imperfection, they keep going in.
But are you saying you can have up to 10 BBL?
I said I have seen it. I didn't even think
goodness.
that surgeons will take patients like that. But I'm even alarmed at the rate at which it's going on in Nigeria. I call Nigeria the land of where everything goes and there's no law.
And there are no consequences.
No consequences to these things.
That's the sad thing. There are no consequences.
It's going on everywhere in Nigeria. We're seeing it every day. So she died early this year. It was so sad. And when I saw her chin was this long.
Oh my goodness.
And because I'm really popular, some people say, oh, maybe it's Dr. B that did that. No, I'm saying it now on Arise News. I don't do long chins like that. I don't even create monsters. Right now, what I try to do is I try to create my goal for every Nigerian face is to make your face look smaller, more youthful, more rejuvenated. Like my face looks really small, more rejuvenated, less wrinkles, perfect skin.
The painful part is when you actually see people who actually used to be quite stunning and very attractive.
Yes.
And you now see them, and then you're trying to explain to the person next to you, oh, this is how she used to look like, but she's so far removed from what she once looked like. And I'm thinking, can't you see the difference? Can't you tell the difference?
It's alarming.
But that chin, is it possible to reverse it?
Yes, if they haven't used a permanent filler on it.
Oh, there's such things as permanent fillers?
Yes, we have permanent fillers.
For bum, chin, every other part of the body?
Even some people are going all the way to do chin implants. I did see a patient who did a chin implant.
How do you do chin implants?
No, it's just a small cut on the chin and you put a silicone implant in there.
Oh, you can put a silicone implant on the chin?
Yes, on the chin. But it masculinizes the face. That's the problem.
What about the jawline?
The jawline, they use fillers to do that.
To make it more pronounced.
Yeah, and a lot of them use semi-permanent fillers, and then some people use permanent fillers. They all masculinize the face. It makes the face look bigger, wider. Like like it makes your face look like a man. Sorry.
Like Charly Boy or like Linda?
Like Charly Boy. It's not Linda. I wasn't sure who was sitting beside me right now, so I had to say.
He fluctuates.
Yes, it was fluctuating.
It depends on his moods.
Yes.
But let me ask you, Charly Boy now, not Linda. Yeah. Do you think society's expectations of how men should look or age are changing? You know, what do you think? Why do you think some people associate cosmetic surgery or treatments as a sign of lack of masculinity?
I don't know.
But do you think more men should embrace cosmetic approaches?
I'm embracing it, and I'm enjoying it to the hilt, okay? I said, this is my season to look youthful, look young, find my soft spot, and I've found my soft spot. You know, I want to be like Ajala. I want to travel all over Africa, not the world, Africa. I just came back from Rwanda, and what I saw there, knowing their history, what they were able to pull themselves out of.
Yeah.
You understand? Seeing so much orderliness, so much discipline. I see the way the citizens, they talk about the leadership. I say, what's wrong with us now?
Definitely something.
What's wrong with us? So I need to visit a lot of African countries, see how other people live, because this rubbish we're in we're living like animals, and that is not healthy.
Okay, but so in other words, it doesn't. You don't see men embracing cosmetic.
To each his own. That's what I always say. To each his own.
My point is that you don't see it as a sign of femininity.
Forget now, all that thing about men should be macho. Anything where they worry you should chest it. I know they chest though. You don't tell you say they cry. You know, if something pain me, I go cry. If you feel that is not.
You cry when they do all this tattoo for you.
I cry.
How many names did they say?
I cry.
Charlie, Janet.
No, this
Mark,
this one, my children name.
Where your wife?
Children. My wife on there, yeah.
Did you cry there too? Let's see.
You will open it now, so we can embrace your masculine chest.
Ooh.
You see Diane?
Diane.
Oh,
that's nice.
Yeah.
So did you cry whilst all this was going on?
I cried throughout. I was crying. I cry a lot. I'm a cry baby.
You're a cry baby. Okay, so Dr. B, what about when it comes to recovery for cosmetic surgery? How practical are the results? Are there some that nothing can be done anymore? It's gone beyond damage?
Repair?
Yeah, beyond repair.
In medicine, we say sometimes maybe all things can be possible. Let me say can be possible. For cosmetic surgery, it has given a lot of people, it has restored their confidence back. And though we're talking about the downside, the upside is that it has restored a lot of women's confidence. Men, even in Nigeria here, we have less men doing cosmetic surgeries, but they're beginning to embrace it over time.
What kind of surgeries do men normally try to embrace?
A lot of men are doing liposuction.
Okay, for their stomachs.
Yes, they're doing liposuction.
Somebody did die of that recently in Nigeria a couple of years ago.
I think so. I heard about that was during COVID. I heard of one case.
Yeah.
But a lot of men are doing liposuction. A lot of men are doing their face.
What are they doing to their faces?
Wrinkles, many wrinkle treatments. They're putting fillers too. Even on their chin, they're trying to restore the structure of their chin.
Are they doing this here in Nigeria?
Yeah, they do. We have a lot of male patients. They do. They do on their face, on their neck, everywhere on their face.
Can you do anything on your neck?
Yes.
What can you do to your neck?
Oh, we put a type of collagen stimulant on the neck because as you age, the neck is one of the...
That sounds very painful though.
No, the neck actually isn't painful. The least of the pain.
Have you done yours?
No, he hasn't done his because he's a crybaby.
She wanted to do it at one time, but the little pain I experienced in less than 5 seconds, I said,
it does sound like it's
No, but the
very
neck is
painful.
not painful at all. Least painful.
Wow.
Yeah, the neck is least painful. I mean, the nose
Because
is
the
more
line
painful.
is it's so thin.
But it's not because you use really tiny, like cannulas or syringes. Unless you're doing a neck lift. Even a neck lift is not
Oh,
painful.
how do you do a neck lift?
I mean, if they cut with a neck lift, especially if they have excess skin, and you flap it back to the ear area, you suture. It's very simple.
I saw one where an injection was being given to the nose. What on earth would you need to inject your nose for?
So a lot of Nigerians or black people are not happy with the type of nose structure that they have. It's,
So-
the thing is filters.
They said it's collagen for the nose. or
No,
something.
it's not called collagen. It's fillers. For people inject fillers on the nose to try to make it look much more straighter.
How do you do that if the nose is already big and bulky?
That's the thing. We don't need fillers on our nose. I've been preaching that for years.
Okay, so, but how can a big bulky nose now become pointed like ours?
It doesn't get pointed, it gets wider. The only
Wow.
time they see the pointiness is that first day. So we don't use that in the clinic. We don't use fillers on the nose a lot. It's really gives people a distorted, and the worst part is not only is the nose gets distorted, it also trickles down into the under eye area.
Oh my God.
So their face now starts to look even, disformed, like it's losing its formation.
Okay, but do you think societal standards of beauty and media influences individuals' self-perception of themselves?
Yes.
Most of the pressure does come from social
Media.
From
From the media, from social media. Everybody, I've even had cases where people will show me a face and say, I want to look like that. I would tell them, this is filter. They'll say, no, it's real life. Like, this is her face in real life. I'm like,
Yeah, but does it even look like the person that she wants to look like?
she
in the first
doesn't
place?
even look like that person. She has a total different structure. And I would try to convince them and they were like, I want to look like this person. And I'm like, wow, it's social media. It wasn't like this before. When there was no camera phones, there was no social media, we only had the mirror. We didn't know what was going on outside the world, in other parts of the world. But now, people want to look like that model they're seeing.
Yeah, so there are those who want to seek instant gratification rather than go through long-term.
And that's where the
exercises.
non-surgical comes from.
Yes. So how about, I also hear that there are not operations you can have without your body being cut. Non-surgical operations, like for instance now, this bit about the Botox thing, you don't have to actually have your body cut or...
Yeah, you just inject it into the face, or into the body. But the thing is, injecting it in the right place. Because if injected in the wrong space, it can cause detrimental
But can you do
side
that
effects.
for breast as well?
For the breast, it's tricky. Because of breast cancer, the only two things that have truly been FDA approved is fat into the breast, fatty tissue into the breast, or we say silicone or saline implants into the breast.
But I've also heard that they don't even need to cut your areola anymore. They now do it from the armpit or something.
You can do it from the armpit, but people are still doing it from the areola. Most of the cases, 90%.
But don't you lose sensitivity if you do it from the areola?
That's what they say. But have you questioned the people who have done it? The people who have done it, I've had over a lot of patients who have done breast implants. They tell me that their sensation is amazing. So that's what they say. That sometimes you go to Google, you see a lot of...
But can they breastfeed?
Yes, you can breastfeed with an implant.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do anything with an implant, just don't let it burst.
Have you had cases where implants have burst?
We don't have a lot of breast implant cases in Nigeria. We don't have a lot of people with breast implants in Nigeria. People are still scared of that. They've not embraced it as much as they've embraced the BBL. And Nigerian women have big boobs anyways.
But can you have the same effect if you transfer fat instead of putting silicone from your bottom, from your stomach or your bum
into
or whatever,
the breast?
Into the breast.
The issue with breast fat transfer to the boobs is that it doesn't give form. So sometimes it will still sag the breast down, pulling it towards gravity. But with the silicone, if you put the silicone in and you do a breast lift,
yes, okay.
it can stay in that position. Maybe drop a little bit after a couple of months, but it will give a natural looking, standing boobs. But unlike the fat, sometimes the fat doesn't have structure. You can't mold it to the way you want it. Okay. So it just sometimes sags the breast even further.
Okay, let's get back to Charly Boy. Do you think men should feel free to embrace their feminine sides without fear of being discriminated against? And how do you think these rigid societal expectations, what kind of effect do you think it has had on men's overall well-being?
I have no business with societal expectations.
No, I'm just generally.
And, yeah, generally speaking, too. And like I keep saying, to each his own. This is where I found myself in the now. And I'm loving it, and I'm enjoying it. And my career is to be youthful and boyish till whenever.
But what do you think? Don't you think a lot of men are facing frustrations because of their inability or boldness to embrace this?
When they want to be macho, when they have been convinced that strong men don't cry, and whatever you're going through make you chest down because you're a man, that don't make sense to me. You understand? Now, out of all of this chesting, men don't cry. Now, in their own frustration, they pass. Okay? And then I've sworn to myself that nobody can frustrate, nobody has that kind of right or that kind of energy. So I'm just living my best life right now. At over 70.
What would you embrace? What would you tell men now on how best to embrace their
I say all
inner
those
self?
ones when they do before those machoism or everything, now they kill them.
Did you not say that was part of what causes this cancer, prostate cancer that men have as well?
Because of lack of openness. Men are too secretive. Men are too to themselves.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, men are too to themselves.
But that's because society sort of imposes that on them.
That's why I say society cannot tell me what to do. Not this kind of society I'm saying. Not this type. They can't. You should know what is good for you.
But people are really under a lot of societal pressure.
Yes.
Of course.
Even this cosmetic surgery thing too is also societal pressure.
Of course. A lot of men, like my husband, I do his treatments for him on his face. I'm like, you have to look young. I can't be looking young. You're not looking young. You understand? So he has embraced it. He said if not for me, he probably wouldn't have done it. But he sees that it's great, and he's embraced it. And we've talked about weight loss. I've helped him lose weight. He's embraced, and he's gotten all his friends to do it, and they've seen the impact on his life, and they're like, man, I want to do this thing for myself. So he's much older too, and he's looking young. When people see him, like, oh, you look like you're 40.
Ruth, can you imagine you're doing all of this? Like I said, I have 4 very important people in my life right now. One is her. You know, she takes care of my body, my wrinkle. You know, nothing much, nothing.
Everything, cha.
Yes, okay. And the other one is my gym instructor, okay. He has to put my energy at 35, of a 35-year-old.
So you feel? Boy. Do you feel like it's a
yes.
And he looks.
I feel like a 20-something self.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
20-something competes. If you follow 20-something competes.
Compete for waiting for knocking. If knocking, I know they knock again. Not the only thing you feel ask me to that. I know you. I know they knock again.
No. I know who was in my mouth. I never said anything.
The one why knock finish. Now you come trouble everywhere.
No, but how did I just made that question? No, I wasn't just a knocking.
No, but yes, he oils all my joints, you know. So if you see me, you get as you go see me now. You go this I did 20-something, no.
Yeah,
make I tell you.
Okay?
Yeah. Because I'm always in the gym. Like I said, there are 4 people. She's number 1. Then my gym instructor, because my energy level has to be up there. Then my wife, Diane, My home is my home is so peaceful.
Haven.
You can't even start to imagine. Then, of course, all my executive side chicks.
What do you mean by executive side chicks?
The executive side chicks now, you know.
No,
they keep me smiling.
She said you don't have.
Huh?
She said you don't have. She's saying Dr. B said you don't have.
Don't follow me live for her.
But you know so what are you doing with executive side chicks?
Hey, you see now, because your mind, they run go that side all the time. All the time. I say they make me smile, they make me laugh. They are like comedians.
Okay,
for me.
They entertain you.
Hey, but your mind go somewhere.
No, there's mental stimulation now. Come on.
Mental stimulation. All join now.
Now that's all join.
All
it's
join.
Not just about the physical aspect. So your side chicks, age brackets?
They range. They are everywhere. I know them.
They're young ones.
Old ones.
They're old ones.
He's age ones.
What's the oldest?
Oldest is about 82.
Sorry?
82.
Wow.
Yeah. And
your oldest side chick is 82.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
If you see her, you go bow. You like to look like her.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So how young is your youngest?
My youngest is about 40-something.
Okay, well, at least it's not that bad.
No, he
I was
doesn't
hoping
do
not to
young
hear
girls.
20-something.
No, he doesn't do that stuff.
Okay, he doesn't do young girls. Yeah. Okay, well, that's interesting, though.
Yeah, very.
So you are relishing your freedom of expression, basically.
Of course.
And you're hoping that a lot more men would also be emboldened to take the kind of step that you're taking so that they can have longevity and quality of lifestyle. Of course. That makes sense.
You know, we bottle too much inside, and that's just so sad and so bad. You know?
Now, but that's interesting. But what I want to also ask is that, have you ever advised any of your, not patients or people that have come to you for bust surgeries, have you ever advised any of them to take it up legally? Because there must be consequences to pay for destroying somebody's life or almost destroying somebody's life physically.
I think the thing about it legally is a lot of them are more like, I don't want that information out in the public because they don't want to be scrutinized by the public.
But what if it's a life-changing situation?
I haven't seen a life-changing one yet. Most of them have been sorted out. Most of the ones that, maybe patients that have come to me from outside, I have sorted it out. If I have had an issue, I have sorted it out. So I haven't seen a particularly life-changing one. The life-changing ones I have seen
Some have died.
It's just the death. And those ones I only hear of it. So maybe that question should be linked towards the plastic surgeons who have had death cases.
Or even the families of those who have died, to see what they have done.
Linked that legally. And sometimes it could be legally, taken up in court, but maybe on a silent base, people don't know much about it.
Do you also think that over years, the stigma of surgery would not be, it would be more openly embraced? Because you get people who look distinctively different, but they still lie to you that, they haven't done anything. And I don't know why they bother doing that when it's so obvious that you have. So is it this stigma of not being associated with cosmetic surgery, do you think over the years it's going to be more embraced and more openly accepted?
It's going to take a long time.
Why?
Nigerians, outside the world, I'm going towards our society here in Nigeria. So I'm sorry to say, but a lot of Nigerians are fake. That's the truth. They don't really want to embrace the truth, even in their even in the society we live in. And I say that because you would see someone who has not done their butt. They look very natural. When they post on social media, the comments you see written is, "Why have you not done your butt?
Oh my goodness!
Go and do your bum bum. Look at your small nyash." And they constantly troll the person.
So the societal pressure.
Yes, and then when they do it, they say, your leg is not equal to the new bum you have done.
I wish we could go on forever.
So what are we
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. B, for being with us. And thank you, Linda /Charly Boy /Area Father, for being with us and giving us one of the most interesting episodes that we've had in a long time. Thank you so much for being with me here on Perspectives. So as we close, it's crucial to understand that looking your best can boost confidence and impact how you feel about yourself. while cosmetic surgery can offer a shortcut to enhancing your appearance, it's important to know when to stop so you don't risk becoming a caricature of your former self, as ultimately it's your personality, inner strength, and self-assurance that defines how you navigate the world. And I keep saying, always remember, life is a learning curve. That's all we have time for today. You've been watching Perspectives here on the Rise News with me, Ruth Osime. Until we get together again next weekend, do stay prayerful, hopeful, and safe. See you next week.